What's going on, George Mason University? Welcome back to the Pressbox. I'm Nathan LaPierre.
And I'm Matt Newman.
And today we are discussing one of the most notable and polarizing sports figures in recent history, and that is Floyd Money Pretty Boy Mayweather, whichever name you prefer.
Yes, he's been in the news a lot lately.
He has. So, as you may know, he just fought Andre Berto and won by unanimous decision for the last fight on his contract, and he also announced that it would be the last fight of his career and that he will retire 49-0.
Yes, which ties Rocky Marciano's record.
It does. It does. So the question I think a lot of people are asking is he really going to retire? Should he? Will he? What do you think?
I think those are some... I don't think we know quite yet. I feel like I have a personal opinion. I think that he is not done fighting. I don't know if that speaks for everyone's opinions here. You can disagree with me here in a second. But Floyd, I feel like he cares too much about his legacy to be not the absolute number one. Throughout his entire life, he has always tried to be the winner. And I think he's going to try to win one more time, just so that he can be the outright winner, have the 50-0 record, and so he can get another payday. One of his middle names is money. So
yeah, I think that's a definite possibility. I'll just play devil's advocate and play the other side. Floyd, frankly, has nothing to gain at this point. I mean, you could say he could be 50-0 and break the record, but already, no matter whether he fights another fight and wins again, and pretty much the only person he could fight again to even further improve his legacy is Manny Pacquiao again.
Yeah.
And but if he fought him again, it would probably be the same sort of deal. Not as many people are going to watch it because they were already disappointed last time about how the fight went. And that's how he fights nowadays. He's not a knockout puncher. Mm-hmm. He's a point boxer, and that's how he fights. And that's how it would go. So I don't know. It's kind of a lose-lose, right? If he fights again and loses, well, it's terrible, and his record's gone. If he fights again and wins, everyone's just like, well,
it doesn't really matter.
But yeah. So people are gonna complain about it either way. So I don't know if he really has anything to gain. He could gain more money, but he's already extremely wealthy. So it'll be interesting to see. So, and I touched on another point, which is some people are kind of, well, again, it's a polarizing reaction as to his fighting style and what his legacy is. I think the Manny Pacquiao-Floyd Mayweather fight brought in a lot of people who do not normally watch boxing because it was such a, it was billed as the fight of the century, and it really was. Like, there was so much hype around that, and Floyd won. But
he didn't do it convincingly enough.
He won by
for the casual boxing
fan.
Right,
so that's the thing. By points, he clearly won. He landed more punches.
Yeah.
And he clearly was a better point boxer, which is what he does. But people, when they think of boxing, they want to see big knockouts, crazy haymakers.
They think of Rocky the movie, people getting
which is
knocked
based
out.
on Rocky Marciano, who was a knockout boxer.
Yes.
So.
I don't really. I think his legacy is. I feel like his legacy for me will be of him hugging people. I just remember him hugging Manny Pacquiao in the ring. I also am a very casual boxing fan, so I'm just basing that off of my limited knowledge. I feel like I've heard more from him recently, not in terms of boxing news, but in terms of his troubles with the domestic violence.
His certainly not a shining public figure.
Yeah, I mean, he has a feud with Ronda Rousey. All that sort of stuff will be kind of cemented as his legacy sometimes before him as a boxer to some people. So.
I think it depends. I think there's a lot of old sports heroes who had kind of problems outside of the, in their personal life that were not, covered. Now that in the internet age, everything is blown up, of course. But
that is very good.
Certainly point. Floyd is, to a lot of people, is not an idol in terms of his behavior. But I think as a boxer, as some would say, don't hate the player, hate the game, right? I think I think Floyd actually plays the sport to perfection. Now, some people will have problems with the way boxing is scored, and maybe that's something to address if they want more viewership. But the way it's set up now, he plays it to perfection. He doesn't get hit. He doesn't take damage. He lands his punches, and he's going to win by decision almost every time unless the opponent plays like a perfect match.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think he'll go down as one of the great fighters, but in the public, casual fans' eyes, like you said, a lot of people are not impressed with the way he fights.
Yeah. I mean, I think he'll go down as the greatest fighter of this generation, but I don't know if I'd call him the greatest ever.
And a lot of people wouldn't.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just have to see later on what his legacy is
We'll see.
in the years to
We'll
come.
report back in 20 years.
Yes. But as for now, I'm Matt Newman.
And I'm Nathan LaPierre.
Press on, George Mason. Press on.